I don't have anything pink, or else I would be wearing it because, you know, Barbie. But I don't have anything pink because I'm a dark soul. And pink is definitely not my color. I am not a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world, but this movie definitely is. You guys, I just barely came out of that movie 2 hours ago. Just barely saw it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna be discussing it. We're gonna be breaking it down. I will at first be doing a spoiler-free review for you, and then we will get into the spoilers a little bit later, and I will warn you, so don't worry. I won't ruin anything for you for this movie. So, two huge anticipated movies came out on the exact same day, and we saw both of them. I gotta say, they are both very, very different films from one another, but they both have pretty similar appeal. I'm just gonna say it, they're both amazing. So let's go ahead and talk about Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
Alright, so spoiler-free review for ya. Barbie was everything that I thought it was gonna be, and more, okay? I thought it was just going to be a lighthearted, funny, a little bit crazy film. It was that, but it was also pretty touching, and it was very much for the girls. But if you're not a girl, you'll still enjoy this film. My husband was laughing the entire time during this film because it's just it was great. It was a good movie. Okay, was it Oscar award-winning Oppenheimer type film? No, it wasn't, but it was definitely worth the ticket purchase, and it was definitely worth the time. And I could definitely just say definitely multiple times. Definitely, like totally go see this movie. Let's just do some breakdowns, shall we? So let's just talk about the plot of this film without spoiling anything. The plot of this film, which you can get from the trailers, is Barbie is living her dream life in her Barbie dream house with all of her Barbie friends, and she has all of her Kens. She is like, whoa, I kind of want to see if there's anything more to me. And it kind of follows a little bit of that plot. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie. This may be aging me and giving me like a little bit of a deep cut here, but there's this movie with Tyra Banks from America's Next Top Model called Life Size, and it's about a Barbie who comes to life, and it's pretty great. It's kind of like that, but not like exactly like that. It's not like a girl playing with her doll and wishing it was real. No, it's not like that. We're seeing it from the perspective of the doll living in her dreamland, and then she comes to the real world, and then mayhem strikes, blah, 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 what's gonna happen, women empowerment, and all that kind of stuff. So the plot was really good. It was 10 years in the making. If you had seen anything about Barbie and like the production side of everything, they were originally going to make it like an ugly Barbie with Amy Schumer, and then they dropped that, and then they had this whole plot of exactly what was going to happen. But then Lego Movie came out, and Lego Movie's kind of similar, you know, you got a toy coming to the real world and all that kind of stuff. So they had to scrap that and wait a little bit longer because they didn't want to just put out another Lego Movie type thing. And now we finally in 2023 get Barbie, and it was a great film. I was dying laughing throughout the whole thing. So the plot was really strong, it was really good. And then also, let's talk about the acting in this film. The acting was absolutely fantastic. Seeing Ryan Gosling as a dumb Barbie Ken is just everything that you'd want and more, okay?
Driving me insane. All my life been so polite.
He carried this film. I'm not saying that he carried this film and all the other characters like were really bad. I'm just saying like he really stood out as like the comedy relief of this film, and he was just so funny, and all of his lines were just so spot on to exactly like what you would see a Barbie being like if he came into a patriarch society. I don't want to spoil anything, but he's just so funny, and I would just like go see it with him alone because he's so funny. Him and Simu Liu's hatred for one another is so funny. Simu did a great job as well. Like, he was hilarious, and all the Kens did a great job. All of the Barbies did a great job. I know that this isn't a Ken movie, so why am I giving Ken's all the recognition? The Barbies did a great job too, okay? Like, I just thought it was funny seeing Ryan Gosling like that. Like, just the dumb, stupid, like, but I love you, Barbie.
Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
Yeah.
But Margot Robbie did fantastic in this film as well. Like, she was so funny. She's always just really good, you know, like seeing Margot Robbie as a Barbie, like that's, can you really go wrong? Anyway, so the acting was really good, and then also like the amount of pop culture references in this film are just, they're just so good. The director, Greta Gerwig, did such a good job. Greta Gerwig also was the writer for Lady Bird, if you ever saw that, and she's just really good. She does a really good job at having like the women empowerment that you would see coming from like a Barbie movie, and while also not being too women empowerment and too like feminist for like men won't like it, you know? Like, it was definitely a movie that everybody would like to see, like kids, adults. I would say with the pop culture references, if you're an adult, you'll like it more than the kids because you'll understand everything more. And if you really like movies, then you will really like all the pop culture references because there's a lot of them. This movie was very meta. They made so many jokes and like played into all of these different things that it worked so seamlessly, and it was very, very funny. So I don't think you'd be disappointed with this film. And also the sets were really funny. I know that they were all practical sets. Barbie's dream house and Malibu Ken and Malibu Beach and all that stuff. I really liked that they made it like very doll-like. You are playing with the dolls, but just like on a huge scale. They didn't make it like, this is what Barbie would do, and we're like now in a Barbie dreamland. All these things are actually real. I don't even want to say it, but everything is still like very plastic Barbie toy, but it's just so fun to see it on this like large scale thing. Like, Barbie has a slide going down to her pool, and they have dance parties every night, and when you get to the real world, it's like a little bit darker, a little bit gloomier, exactly like what we see every single day. Or if you were to go to LA, Venice Beach and stuff, this is exactly what you'd see. The sets were really good. So this was a very star-studded cast. If you have seen the TV show Sex Education, like every single character from that TV show is in here, which I don't know if Greta Gerwig like worked on Sex Education or if she just likes all those characters and all those actors. Eric from Sex Education, he is a Ken. Maeve from Sex Education, she is brunette Barbie. Adam from Sex Education, he's in this movie. I was like, that's a little random, but okay. And then you got Simu Liu, you got Margot Robbie, Issa Rae, amazing. Kate McKinnon, she's weird Barbie, and she's always so funny. I love seeing her in every movie. If you're gonna have a comedy film, have her in it because she's just so good. All these like big, huge names, you know. Kingsley Benadir. He plays Gravik in Secret Invasion. Seeing him as a Ken, I was like, wow. Barbie is officially a part of the MCU because we got Shang-Chi in there. We got the Skrulls taking over Barbie Land. Gravik has infiltrated Barbie Land. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I just think that this movie was just good fun. It did get serious near the end. If you are somebody that like absolutely hates women and hates feminism and like the feminist movement and women empowerment, don't see this movie. This movie's not for you. This movie is for people that have grown up with Barbie, have grown up with all of the turmoil that Barbie has given women, and it is for men that don't hate women. While also rewriting Barbie's narrative, I thought that it was just like a really good way of showing, oh, Barbie Land, where women can do everything, and then Barbie finally sees like that's not how the real world is, and that's not how America is. You get like all these like rants about how Barbie's not everything that she would think she is in her head, but it was really good. So I would say definitely go see it. I will stop right here real quick and say that I am going to be talking about spoilers from here on out. So if you don't want to be spoiled for this movie, then go buy your tickets, go watch the movie. You could come back, see my thoughts on it. Or if you don't care about spoilers, if you don't care to see this movie, if you've already seen this movie, keep on watching. So from start to finish, this movie, an abundance of pop culture references. The very, very beginning, you get Helen Mirren discussing what little girls were having with dolls and how they were always baby dolls. And that whole scene is pretty much scene for scene the beginning of 2000 Space Odyssey. We recently saw it for the first time this year. It's a good movie. Just seeing this right after seeing that for the first time, I was like, oh, that's so funny. It's so clever. With like the apes and stuff, seeing the huge jewel pen, vape pen, you know? But it's Barbie instead and they're little girls, and it was really good. And then you get to the Barbie Dreamland. The music is so funny. It's literally just like a song form of what's happening and what you're visually seeing. Barbie wakes up in the morning and she says hello to her friends, and then she gets ready. Goes to a shower. She has the perfect breakfast. The music was so good. I was expecting it just to be like, I'm a Barbie girl, you know, Aqua's song, or like some Nicki Minaj songs and stuff. I didn't really think it was gonna be like as thought out as it was in this film. It was so good. It was so funny. This is what I was talking about before, with it being like, it's a practical set of Barbie's dream house, and she just like flies as if you were picking up Barbie and like putting her down onto the ground, and she's showering, but there's no water coming out because there wouldn't be water in the actual toy. And like the milk carton, she's like pouring it out and like drinking the milk and stuff. It's not real because Barbie's not real. And I really liked that they chose to do that instead of having it be like, oh, this is Barbie's dreamland and she's actually drinking milk. Like, this is what's actually going on in her head. Like, no, like she is definitely a toy, and this is just like a weird multiverse type thing that is also real, you know? I don't know. I thought that was really funny. Barbie has a perfect day, but Ken only has a good day if Barbie looks at him and he's like super nervous. Seeing Ryan Gosling just be playing like this stupid man Ken doll character is just so funny. And like he like runs out into the ocean, and then like it's not a real ocean, it's just plastic waves, and like splashes into the plastic waves. And him and Simu Liu's Ken character, they're always like fighting over the same Barbie, and it's that just, it was so funny, okay? I loved Weird Barbie, and when we started dying laughing when she had flat feet and she shows the other Barbie, she's like, guys, like, this is so weird that this happened, and then flat feet, and everybody like starts throwing up and stuff about her feet. We were dying laughing. That was so funny. And then she goes to see Weird Barbie, and it's Kate McKinnon, of course. And she's freaking hilarious. Kate McKinnon is so funny, always doing the splits. And I thought that was clever. Like, have the Barbie like a weird Barbie, because I didn't grow up with Barbie. I grew up with Polly Pockets. I destroyed many a Polly Pocket. I know a lot about destroying my toys, and I would have, if I had a Barbie, I definitely would have had a weird Barbie. Actually, I also had a Little Mermaid Barbie, and I destroyed her. So, sorry, Ariel. I love how Kate McKinnon's Barbie's like, first you gotta drive here, and then you're going to be jet skiing, and then you're going to be on a plane, and then a rocket, and then you're going to be roller skating, and you'll get there. And then she's like, how do I come back? And it's like, the other way. And then you get another pop culture reference, which is, she's like, which one do you want to choose? The high heel or the Birkenstock? And she's like, the heel, I want to forget. And she's like, that's not how this works. And that is the red pill, blue pill with Morbius. So that was funny. Ken in the real world was so funny. His whole like conscious is that it's Barbie and Ken is just like, nobody really cares about Ken. It doesn't really matter like who cares about Ken. Like everything's Barbie, and Ken is just another accessory.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
And so all of the Kens like cheer the Barbies on, and they don't really do anything, you know, like his whole thing is like the beach, because he is Malibu Ken. That whole scene as well with the beaching, like, I'm gonna beach you off. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna beach you off. Oh, well, you can't even beat yourself off.
Oh, looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken.
Hold my ice cream, Ken. All right, Ken, you're on. Let's beach off.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
But you don't even know how to beat yourself off. How are you gonna beach both of us
course
off?
I
It
know how
doesn't
to-
make sense.
Ken?
Why are you getting emotional?
You're gonna beach both of us
I
off?
beach.
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
So funny, so good. Like keeping it like PG, but also like into the PG-13, like so good. And then they like talk about his weird plastic bulge, because he doesn't have a penis. Like, it was just so good. The comedy is definitely with the Kens, while like the actual driving of the storyline is with the Barbies. So I'm gonna be talking about the Kens a lot, obviously. But yeah, Ken in the real world is so funny because, you know, obviously he is just the accessory to Barbie, and then he's seeing like, wait, men rule everything and men ride horses and men are all these things, and he has to find out what patriarchy is, and then he's like, whoa, I want to know what this is. And he's like, oh, can I work here? And like, no, you need this degree, this degree, this degree, this degree. And he's like, this doesn't have a lot to do with patriarchy. And they're like, oh no, it still is. We just hide it a lot better. And it's very truthful. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it was very satirical, but like exactly what us as women experience every single day and what men get to have every single day. And she's like, I feel really weirdly violated and I feel self-conscious for some reason. She's never had to feel like that because she lives in Barbie Dreamland, and now it's the real world where women don't have that luxury. So and they just did it in such a funny way that it wasn't like, ugh, okay, we get it, like women have it hard. Like, it was like, no, women have it hard, but they did it in like a very satirical way. I don't know what else to say other than that. So that was so funny. And him going back and like starting Kendom and like his musical numbers of him loving Barbie. And
where I see love, she sees a friend.
There's another pop culture reference with The Shining. And she's like, are you shining with the Barbie right now? I think me and my husband were the only two people that actually got that reference, because we were the only ones really laughing at that, because we both loved The Shining, specifically the book. I thought that was great. I thought that was hilarious. And when she gets cellulite, she's like, I don't want cellulite. And it's like, sorry, girlfriend, that's what we all got. When Ken takes over Barbie Land and turns it into Kendom, oh my gosh, I was dying laughing. It was very meta with like all the jokes and stuff. Like, obviously men are not like this one-dimensional, but there's always jokes about women being this one-dimensional thing in media. So it was kind of nice seeing that in like the men's point of view and stuff. Like, they're only talking about cars, or they're only talking about like things that interest them, and the girls are just like, oh, really? That's so cool. And when the Barbies finally start getting their own consciousness back, it's like, oh, talk about The Godfather. And then they're like, oh, I've never seen The Godfather before. And then the guys are like, you haven't? It's like, no, can you please rewind it and start from the beginning and talk through the entire thing? It was just so good. It was so funny. Do you want to come in and I'll just play my guitar at you? Like, it was very like just douchebag boys, what girls have gone through for ever and ever and ever. It was so funny. And then it concluded with like a good conclusion of like, Barbie, you don't need to be a Barbie anymore, and this is exactly what women have always gone through, but it's not all terrible. Like, there's good things with women too. And like, the message was very clear, and it was very, very good and very funny. And then you are Ken enough, like, you are good. And like, yeah, I mean, this movie was just, it was just good fun. So I believe that you guys should go and see this movie. If you did see this movie, tell me if I missed anything. Put it down in the comment section down below, because I would love to know exactly what your guys' thoughts were about this movie, and if you liked it as much as I did. If you didn't like this movie, let me know, but be nice about it, because we don't have any of that toxicity here. So yeah. If you spotted any other references that I didn't say in here, I know all of the references. I just, like, off the top of my head, I'm like blanking on a lot of them. Like, I know like there was The Sound of Music, there was obviously the 7-Year Itch with Margot Robbie's Dressed Like Flies Up. It was very funny. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I also just barely put out an Oppenheimer movie review, so check that one out as well. I will see you guys next time. So yeah, bye.
I'll see you on the mountain.